You have got to be kidding me. Are we out of our ever-loving minds right now? Joe Flacco has been in Cincinnati for less than 24 hours, and Zach Taylor is already handing him the keys to the offense like it's 2012 all over again? Guys, this is desperation at its finest. This isn't a savvy mid-season move. This is, we've run out of ideas. This is, let's go grab a 40-year-old quarterback who has been on the couch last week, kind of pathetic. Guys, let's be real. Flacco's arrival doesn't fix the real problem in Cincinnati. The offensive line is a disaster. The running game is non-existent, and the defense is gassed from being on the field way too long. Joe Flacco isn't suddenly going to come in and make Jamar Chase and T. Higgins unstoppable when he barely has 2 seconds to throw. The man got benched in Cleveland. The man got benched in Indy. Hell, the man should have been retired 3 years ago. His lack of mobility has turned him into a tackling dummy. And guess what? The Cincinnati Bengals protection is even worse than the Cleveland Browns. But Zach Taylor is up here acting like he discovered a fountain of youth. He fits our style of play perfect. Really? What exactly style is that? Slow dropbacks, forced throws, and praying for a pass interference flag? This isn't 2013 Baltimore. Flacco isn't saving any team. He's walking into a storm, and Taylor pretending it's a sunny day? Let's slow it down, baby. And don't even get me started about he's already faced the Packers a few weeks ago. So what? Does that mean he suddenly knows the Bengals playbook? Don't cram an entire offensive system over a phone call while being driven from Cleveland to Cincinnati and expect to work on Sunday. This is the NFL. Not Madden on rookie mode. The Bengals traded for Flacco because they're desperate. Point blank. Jake Browning wasn't getting it done. Sure, but this move screams panic button. Taylor's hoping Flacco can sprinkle some of the Cleveland magic from last year or two years ago, actually, but that was a fluke stretch with a different roster, in a different system, and a much better line and defense. Cincinnati fans, you guys deserve better than this. You got elite weapons. You have one of the deepest wide receiver rooms in all of football, and your head coach is ready to roll out a 40-year-old quarterback to statue, hope for the best. Listen, if it works, it's going to be a pure miracle. If it doesn't, Zach Taylor should probably be packing his bags right now. Because the truth is, Joe Flacco isn't the answer. He is the last resort. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? I'm so glad you're on with us today. Welcome to Guys, the Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. But guys, before we jump into today's coverage, head over to manhourradio.com. That's where you find all your exclusive merchandise. Check out the blogs and everything's happening with the Man Hour Racing. So if you're rocking the Man Hour, guys, that is a spot to do it. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the share button, and of course, subscribe as well so you never miss a live interactive show. That's the easiest way to stay plugged with us each and every day. But if you want the full experience, become a Pigskin Pundit, guys. Our members-only community where you get free entry into all the weekly NFL pick'ems, giveaways, exclusive merchandise, and of course, the bonus live stream coverages that only the Pigskin Pundits get. So if you want that next level access, guys, join the squad today. And remember, guys, this is a live interactive show. Drop your thoughts, drop your opinions, and your hottest of the hottest takes down below, because I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, Mr. Wesley Sachs. He says, yo, what's up, Wes? What's up? So glad you're rocking us with today. Guys, head over to Elite Contract Foundation over there on Facebook. The link is in the description below. Check them out, hit the like, and tell them that Buck sent you, because you know what? I'm just a nice guy at the end of the day. Alpha Rob's in the chat today as well. He says, what up, Buck? Flacco, man, he is getting around. Guys, Joe Flacco has been around the block several times over now. He had a great career in Baltimore. Let's not throw any shade about that. He was a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Baltimore. He led a very, very good Baltimore Ravens team back in 2012. Was it 2012 or 2013? Whatever year it was. And then he ventured off to the Jets and this team and this team. Guys, I actually posted a meme earlier today. Joe Flacco has played for every color of the rainbow. So if you guys look like Joe Flacco and you are a rainbow warrior, Joe Flacco has completed the rainbow. Wrap that around your head, guys. That is how many teams that Joe Flacco has played for. The complete rainbow. But, guys, it is Wednesday edition of Man Hour NFL Talk. Guys, we're doing Overreaction Tuesday on a Wednesday because last night we had a little mitchy-matchy with the old wifey and whatnot. So we're going to do Overreaction Tuesday here on a Wednesday. We're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. And they are just fine. Slow it down, baby. We're going to talk a little bit about the greatest team in the NFC right now, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to talk about how overrated the Houston Texans are. The Panthers still suck. The Titans still suck. And guess what? The Saints still suck as well. We're going to cover all that, guys, and much more tonight. But let's start there right off at the top, and let's talk about the one and only Kansas City Chiefs. That's right, guys. My Kansas City Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, reigning AFC champions, are now sitting at 2-3 after a very chaotic Monday night game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars pulled off a 28-20, or it'd be a 31-28 win in front of their home crowd. Wow, a wild, emotional, mistake-filled, but a gritty performance by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And naturally, what's happening right now is the media is completely losing their minds. Fans are panicking. What's wrong with Mahomes? What's wrong with Andy Reid? What's wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs? Is the dynasty done? Is this done? Is that? Guys, slow it down, baby. Let me make this as clear as day. I want everybody to listen closely. I want you to come in nice and close. The Kansas City Chiefs are just fine. They are absolutely fine. I told you guys they were going to start the season off 2-4. I told you guys it was going to be sloppy. I told you guys this is what makes the Kansas City Chiefs so freaking dangerous, is this slow start. But let me break it down for you one more time, in case for the people in the back are not listening. This game was all over the place, meaning the Monday night game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Matter of fact, the Kansas City Chiefs had the Jacksonville Jaguars down 14-0. 14-0. Everything was looking like the Kansas City Chiefs were getting ready to roll over. But then Trevor Lawrence, the man, the myth, the legend, finally showed up and earned those bills, yo. And all over the turf, literally, this dude got stepped on by his own teammate at the goal line, fell flat on his face, not once, but twice, got back up, ran through a tackle, and dove in for the game-winning score. That's grit, that's chaos, and that is football. But this wasn't about some domination by the Jaguars. The Chiefs actually looked better team for longer stretches in this game. They jumped out early, 2-touchdown lead early, held Trevor Lawrence to some ugly drives, forced a fumble at the goal line thanks to Nick Bolton, and he had 2 takeaways. Kareem Hunt had his best game of the year with a couple touchdowns with 158 yards rushing for the Kansas City Chiefs, a season high, I might add. And even though the Kansas City Chiefs fell short, this game filled with some kind of weird penalties and miscues that happens to every good team once in a while or twice in a season. The Kansas City Chiefs are just fine, guys. The Chiefs are just fine. Now, here's where I'm at with the Kansas City Chiefs. I want everybody to take a deep breath and calm down. The world is not on fire. They are 2-3. They are 2-3. They are playing decent football. This is exactly where I expected the Kansas City Chiefs to be heading into week 6. Like I said this once, I'll say it again. Before this season, I said the Kansas City Chiefs would start slow. Before this season, I said they were going to lose to the Eagles. They were going to lose to the Chargers. They were going to lose to the Lions. And they were going to lose to the Ravens. Now, I had them beating the Giants and the Jaguars. But you know what? Flip the Jaguars and like Ravens around, whatever, it is what it is. I said they are going to start slow. This is not time to panic. This is a reset point for the Kansas City Chiefs. When a team like the Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and the defense, and that is still top 10 in takeaways, start slow, this doesn't mean they're falling apart. It's mean they're loading up. They're testing their depth. They're figuring out who they can and cannot trust when it matters most. Their early season struggles makes them a dangerous team. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. This early season struggles makes them a dangerous team because now people will start counting them out. The same people who were praising Detroit and Buffalo 2 weeks ago will start sleeping on the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's when Patrick Mahomes is at his best, when he is the underdog. Every single year we do this dance. Are the Chiefs done? The dynasty's over. This is what happens. They're going to reel off 8, 9, hell, maybe even 10 wins in a row. Mahomes throws for 25 touchdowns, and suddenly everybody's going to pretend that they never doubted him. Guys, yes, Patrick Mahomes wasn't perfect so far this season. He had a pick 6. It is what it is. He had a couple bad drives late, but he still kept the Kansas City Chiefs in the game when things went sideways. The offense looked like it had life in the running game. The defense made strong plays early, but then the rookies like Travis Hunter, yes, that Travis Hunter, actually flashed potentials on both sides of the ball for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Guys, the Jaguars are not a bad team. You don't think Mahomes sees all this talk? You don't think Andy Reid sees all this talk? You don't think the Kansas City Chiefs see all this talk? Come on. Guys, this is a proud, proven franchise. This is a proud team that knows how to handle this adversity. Guys, the Chiefs are right where I thought they would be at this point. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. Under 500 through the first 5 weeks. But let's be clear on this. They are still the most dangerous team in the AFC. Mark my words, guys. This team is about to go on a run. They'll be 9 or 6 or better by the time the season is over. Still pretty in the playoff position while the rest of the conference is wondering, how did this happen? So let me ask you guys this, Man Hour Nation. Are you guys confident that the Kansas City Chiefs' ability to turn it around, or do you think this early season struggle is now the new normal in Kansas City? Guys, comment down below. This is a live interactive show. I want to hear from you, and I want to hear your thoughts. Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here, youtube.com/Man Hour. Now, let's get into the comments, and let's discuss your thoughts. Alpha Rob says, I feel what you're saying, but it's like all of a sudden the Bills are not good. It's only the first of 3 or 4 games. Alpha Rob, you are exactly right. Because I released my power rankings on Tuesday morning, mid-morning. I had your Buffalo Bills still at number 1. And people lost their minds. Because the Buffalo Bills still play a pretty good game. Patriots are pretty good. Let's not discount the New England Patriots. But on the flip side, let's not discount who the Kansas City Chiefs have played either. Guys, just remember, 2 weeks ago, the LA Chargers were a top 5 team in everybody's power rankings. Oh, they beaten the Chiefs. They beaten the Broncos. They beaten the Raiders. Like, they were going on a run. They were 3-0. Look out, baby, the Super Bowl, baby! But now all of a sudden, the Chargers are nobody? Now the Chargers are one and done. Now the Chargers are this, and this. Y'all need to stop freaking out about that. The Chargers still a pretty good team. The Kansas City Chiefs lost to them by 1 score. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles, week number 2. Pretty damn good team. Yes, I did dog them a little bit on Monday. But the fact of the matter is they're going to figure this out. They still have the best roster in the NFL. They still have one of the deepest rosters in the NFL. And they had that Super Bowl pedigree in Philadelphia. Do not get that twisted. And then, yes, they played the Giants. Oh, you beat the Giants. The Giants are a pretty damn good team. They are being slept on. Their defense is not terrible. Their offense needs a little bit of work with Malik Neighbors out. But you know what? Skibido and old Jackson Dart are going to figure it out. The Ravens. Kansas City played the Ravens. Yes, they beat a battered, bruising Ravens team, whatever, yada, whatever you want to call it. But you know what? The Ravens are still pretty damn good. Yes, they don't have Lamar Jackson. He missed practice again today. May not play next week, meaning Sunday. But you know what? They played him at full strength. It is what it is. And then they played a pretty damn good Jacksonville Jaguars team. Look at topic number 2. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the real deal. They are pretty damn good. I was hesitant to really put them in my top 10 last week, or is it two weeks ago, but I am buying the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're a pretty good team. Let's not get it twisted. The Jaguars will fade by the end of the season, says Alpha Rob. They started 8-3 a few years ago and didn't make the playoffs. as you are correct, Alpha Rob, the Jacksonville Jaguars are known for overachieving, or underachieving, I should say. Let's flash back to Trevor Lawrence's lone playoffs berth, right? Had a 28-3 lead over the LA Chargers, come back and lose that game. What was it, 35-28 or whatever it was? Like, it was like embarrassing. But I think the Jacksonville Jaguars curse fading in, whatever, right? It is what it is. They are back. Leland Conan, Duval is the real deal. We're going to dive more into the Jacksonville Jaguars, so keep that energy. Will Olsen to the Chiefs will beat the Lions on Sunday, and Rice is coming back in week 7. Will, you are a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan as well. But the Lions are pretty good. The Chiefs without a healthy Xavier Worthy, which is injured still, without Xavier Rice or Rashid Rice, without a rushing game that we don't know what's happening right now. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco actually kind of looked a little bit like him old self, the person that we knew a couple years ago, right? Looked a little bit like him. Cream punt, sprinkle a little bit of youth, a fountain of youth in there, right? But I don't see the Kansas City Chiefs really start clicking until after the Buffalo Bills game, which is what, week 9. Then we're going to see them get hot. Yes, the schedule gets softer. Yes, the games get easier. But you know what? You let the Kansas City Chiefs into the playoffs, even if it's a 7 seed, even if it's a 6 seed, whatever, look out for them because they coming, baby. But to beat the Kansas City, to beat the Lions on Sunday, that is tough. That is tough, but we'll see. We'll break that down more on Saturday night. Alpha Rob says the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty isn't over till the Buffalo Bills beat them in the playoffs, and that's never going to happen, Alpha Rob. That's never going to happen. The Buffalo Bills are never going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. It is like the New England Patriots playing against the Indianapolis Colts. The only time Peyton Manning ever got over that hump is when the refs cheated for him. We're tired of Tom Brady winning. Here you go, Peyton Manning. Here's your win. It is what it is. Wes says, use hashtag ManHour10 for 10% discount off, baby. You cannot count out Andy Reid. So yes, guys, if you guys need your concrete work done, whether you need a driveway poured, whether you need a basketball court poured, whether you need some footing in your house is done or a basement, guys, contact Elite Concrete Foundation. Bada bing, bada boom. Wes is the man, the myth, the legend. He will hook you up. Also, veterans. Ask him about the veterans discount on Fridays. He says that's a bold statement. Baby. The Lions are pretty good right now. The Detroit Lions are a pretty good team right now, and that hurts my soul because my dad's a Lions fan, and I don't want to boost his ego because he has. You guys think I got an ego? My dad's ego is like 15 times more. I look up to him. I want to be like you, Pops, one day. It is what it is. But guys, let me tell you this right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars, guys, are the real deal. They are for real. What we saw Monday night against the Kansas City Chiefs wasn't some luck, wasn't some fluke, wasn't some one-game wonder. This was a statement. This was the kind of win that says we belong with the elite. Guys, let me repeat this for the people in the back. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the real deal. Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars just pulled off one of the wildest, grittiest, and the most emotional wins of the NFL season. A 31-28 comeback victory that told the entire football world Jacksonville Jaguars have arrived. But let's talk about that final drive. The final drive that had everybody talking. The Man Hour Facebook page going crazy, baby. It was chaotic. It was messy. It was pure football, baby. Trevor Lawrence got stepped on by his right guard on 1st and goal. Fell flat on his face. Literally fell flat on his face. Got back up. Still managed to bulldoze over the tackle. Drive across the goal line for the game-winning score while Chris Jones is still scratching his balls, figuring out what just happened with my life. That's just not the touchdown. That's leadership. That's the quarterback saying, put it on me. Let me go win this game. Earlier in that same drive, he took a stack. He shouldn't have. Missed a throw he should have made and had a delay game, but he still didn't fold. Instead, he comes right back with clutch throws of Brian Thompson Jr. and De'Ami Brown before sealing it with the gutsy goal line scramble. Yes, it was a busted play. Yes, it was this, and this. But you know what? Trevor Lawrence finished the night with 54 rushing yards. The most on the team. 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdowns, and all the momentum in the world. He made mistakes, yes. But when it mattered most, he delivered. Now, here's the thing that's going to separate this Jaguars teams from years past. They didn't quit. They were down 14-0 early. They were down late again, 28-24. With under 2 minutes left to play, they kept fighting. They kept fighting. They never gave up. Statistically, the Jaguars are used to being the front runners so far this season, leading almost all season long until this game. But against the Kansas City Chiefs, they were punched in the mouth early, and they were punched in the mouth often. For the first time all year long, they were down double digits. And at halftime, they were losing. The first time this season. What did they do? They didn't fold. They came roaring back. And the turning point, oh man, that turning point was the 99-yard interception by Devin Lloyd. That play flipped the entire stadium upside down. Lloyd jumped the route, juked out Patrick Mahomes, broke Kareem Hunt's ankles, and spread the length of the field. It was the longest defensive touchdown in Jacksonville Jaguars history and the longest pick six by a linebacker ever recorded in an NFL regular season game. He's just not hot. He was on fire, meaning Lloyd. The AFC Defensive Player of the Week, the AFC Defensive Player of the Month, and now possibly the Defensive Player of the Year level type of play. That play summed up the Jaguars' mentality. Bend, but do not break. Fight, do not give up. Go and through the whistle every time. This is the Jaguars' first 4-1 start since 2007. Let that sink in. Let's take it in the soda time. Since 2007, Wes was a sophomore in like high school. Alpha Rob, you were damn near a grandpa at this point, right? Will, you were probably still stuck up on your mama. But just be honest. But they didn't show up. They showed out. And they did it on Monday Night Football. The only primetime game of the year under the lines against Patrick Mahomes and the NFL's modern-day dynasty quarterback. They didn't show up. They just didn't show up. They showed out. Trevor Lawrence outplayed Patrick Mahomes when it mattered most. The defense, despite giving it 476 total yards, came up with one game-changing play. The offense did look inconsistent at times, sure, but it was explosive when it needed to be. Liam Cohen's offense is starting to click, and with this much young talent, the ceiling is scary, scary high. This isn't the same Jaguars team that we saw a few years ago. This is a franchise with balance, swagger, and belief. They got a quarterback who's tough as nails, a defense that strives on takeaways, and a coach who knows how to win big games. Jacksonville is dangerous. The offense has playmakers all over it. Thomas, Brown, ETN, the list goes on and on and on. Led by Josh Hines-Allen and Lloyd. One of the most optimistic units in the league. You can feel it. This team has championship DNA and is starting to form. So let me be the first to officially say this, guys. The Jacksonville Jaguars are one of the top teams in the AFC right now. They're physical, they're clutch, and they're built to last. The Kansas City Chiefs did not lose this game to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars took it. So let me throw this to you, Man Hour Nation. Do you guys think the Jaguars are legitimate Super Bowl contenders after this win, or they still need a little bit more for you to believe? Drop your thoughts, drop your comments, because it's a live interactive show. I want to hear from you. You guys think about the Jaguars' rise, or is it all smoke and mirrors? Hit the subscribe button, guys. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at said platform. Now let's get into the comments and discuss your thoughts. Wes says, plain and simple, turnovers are game changers. Wes, this could not be more true. Every time you look at a team that's winning these type of games that are going back and forth, down to the last possession, you're always looking for a big play, a big kickoff, a big punt return, or a turnover, interception, strip sack, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Turnovers are the biggest gut punch ever. Because Patrick Mahomes should have thrown that in a touchdown pass. Lloyd jumped the route. Just like when Trevor Lawrence dove over the pile. The ball was punched out of his hands. And then the Kansas City Chiefs scored a 96-yard drive the next play. Or not, but they had a 96-yard touchdown play or touchdown drive the next series. Those are tough. Very few teams can come over from interceptions or turnovers such as that. Those are huge. That's why this week in practice, I've been trying to preach turnovers. Get the momentum on our side. Get a turnover. That's what we want. Alpha Rob says they will simply fade away. They will fade away, and they'll be long, long gone by November. By November, they'll be skating in the wind and say, see you later, alligator. We'll say, after a while, crocodile. Alpha Rob, if this was 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, I would be all aboard. I would be all aboard with that. However, I have been eating crow a lot this weekend. When the Buffalo Bills scored that touchdown, I believe it was Josh Allen rolled out. Did Josh Allen run it in or pass it? Either way, he rolled to his left, touchdown. I said on our Facebook page, the Patriots are done. They had a good fight. They were done. The Patriots, they're like, hold my beer. This is going to be a battle. The Jaguars, in years past, after that punch-out, reach-over touchdown that Trevor Lawrence should have had, years past, they would have folded. This is a different year. Different coach, different regime. Hell, they just traded Tank Bigsby, which I thought should have been RB1. Travis Etienne's like, hey, give the ball to me. Trevor Lawrence, you do your thing. This is back to the Clemson days. We go to the moon. The Jaguars are here to stay, Alpha Rob. And I know as a Buffalo Bills fan, you are scared about that. As a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I am scared about this. Because Trevor Lawrence, if you guys remember, I don't know, 3 years ago, we had a draft expert. I use that term loosely because, you know, experts are all what makes you an expert. But Wayne G and his little pundit came on and said, if you build a quarterback in the lab, it'll be Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was built in the lab. He has the height, he has the knowledge, he has this, and this. I was like, stupid. And for the first, 3-4 years of his NFL career, Trevor Lawrence, I was getting ready to call him a bust. This year, totally flipped the script. Definitely earning those millions upon millions of dollars that he is earning. He got signed way too early, but millions upon millions of dollars he is earning. He's finally earning those money. Trevor Lawrence is different this season. I don't know what it is, but he's different. George Lucas says, it will hurt you in the end. What will hurt you in the end? The Jaguars will hurt you in the end? The faith in the Jaguars? Like, what is going to hurt me in the end, George? You are going to have to narrow it down just a little bit. Tell me what you're talking about. Will Olsen says, yes, the Jaguars are top 5 team in the NFL right now. And Will, I agree with you. I actually have them at number 6 in my power rankings. I do believe. But yes, the Jacksonville Jaguars are arguably the 3rd best team in the AFC right now. Behind the Buffalo Bills, behind the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are legit. Jaguars are legit. But a team that is not legit are the Houston Texans. A team that is not legit right now is the Houston Texans. Let me tell you the game for the people in the back. I need all you Houston Texans fans to slow it down, baby. Pump the brakes and hold on for 1 second because I know what everybody's saying right now. The Houston Texans are back. C.J. Stroud threw for 4 touchdowns. The Texans blew out the Baltimore Ravens 41-10. And now suddenly everybody's crowning them as contenders again. I'm hearing Super Bowl sleepers, top 5 offense. C.J. Stroud is elite. The defense is this, and this. Stop it. Because this is the truth. Guys, the Texans are still one of the most overrated teams in the NFL. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. The Texans are still one of the most overrated teams in the NFL. This game did not prove that they are great. This game proved that they can beat up a broken and banged up roster when everything goes their way. Yes, CJ Stroud looked sharp. I'll give him that. He diced up the Ravens defense, spreading the ball to 7 different receivers and hit Xavier Hutchinson twice for touchdowns. But let's just be honest. Who he did it against? Who did he did it against? When the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Baltimore Ravens a couple weeks ago, we were like, oh, it's the Bengals. They're banged up. They're this. At least they had Lamar Jackson. The Ravens defense is still missing half of their starters. The secondary was decimated. No Marcus Williams, no Kyle Hamilton. Their corners were practice squad levels backups at best. And still the Texans are acting like they just lit up the 85 Bears. Guys, yes, Houston Texans did score on his first 8 drives. They didn't even punt until the fourth quarter. Sounds impressive. But when you get to free releases down the field, wide open receivers every other play, that's not dominance, that's opportunity, and they took advantage of it. They did what a good team should do against a broken one. But that doesn't suddenly make them elite. Now flip it to the other side. The Ravens offense was without Lamar Jackson. Dead on arrival, in my opinion. Cooper Rush looked like a deer in the headlights. 179-yard passing yards, half of them coming on 2 plays. Derrick Henry, who was supposed to be the engine of the offense, got smothered for 16 yards on 9 carries to start the game. So yeah, Houston Texans defense did look dominant. They controlled the line, they first turnovers. Jalen Purett grabbed 2 picks. Their front 7 swarmed, and they allowed only 207 total yards. But then again, who they did it against? A backup quarterback, a flat offense, and a running game that completely lost his identity without Lamar Jackson's mobility to open up the field. So guys, here's the real question. Are the Texans good? Sure. I'll give them good. But are they back? Elite AFC team? Not even close. Let's not forget, before this game, Houston has been struggling. CJ Stroud was getting hit more than any other quarterback in football. The offense couldn't finish drives. The defense was giving up chunk plays. And now one blowout against an injury-riddled team suddenly makes them a contenders again? No freaking way. They still got to prove that they can beat good teams. Teams that are healthy, teams that can pressure Stroud, teams that can force him to make tight window throws instead of wide open reads. They got the Seattle Seahawks coming up. One of the best pass defenses in the league. Let's see if CJ Stroud still looks decisive when he's staring down Woolen, Witherspoon, instead of backup corners back in Baltimore. Here's what people forget. This is exactly what Houston Texans do. They tease you. They show flashes. They dominate one week, and then they completely vanish the next. DeMeco Ryans has his team believing, sure, but this roster still isn't built for sustained success. The offensive line is inconsistent at best. The run game is hit or miss at best. And that defense, while fast, still gives up big plays at a team that can stretch the field. This was fun to watch. It was flashy, but it's fool's gold. Because when Houston runs into a team like the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the momentum is going to fade real freaking fast. CJ Stroud is talented. DeMeco Ryans can coach. But until the Texans can do it against a playoff caliber competition, not backup quarterbacks and a busted defense, I'm not buying the hype. They are not contenders. They're a 500 team at best. This team has played their best all season long. So I'll ask you this, Man Out Nation. Are the Texans actually legit AFC threats? Or are we falling for the same hype train we do each and every season for the last 3 for the Houston Texans? Guys, drop your thoughts. Drop your comments. Because it's a live interactive show. And I want to hear from you. Subscribe. Hit the like button. And remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. But now, you want to talk about heart? You want to talk about grit? You want to talk about refusal to quit? Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers. Yes, those Carolina Panthers. They were down 17-0. Chuba Hubbard out. Bryce Young looking like forget which team he was throwing to. Looked like it was going to be a long Sunday in Charlotte. But then, out of nowhere, equal Rico happened. The Panthers re-raced a 17-point deficit and stormed back to beat the Miami Dolphins 31-27 in one of the most wildest comebacks of the 2025 NFL season, besides the Titans versus Cardinals. And I'm telling you right now, guys, this moment could flip the entire season for the Carolina Panthers. Now, let's start with the obvious. Rico, the man, the myth, the legend. When I say he ran wild, I mean he dominated, baby. 206 yards rushing, 23 carries, 1 touchdown, 9 yards per carry. 9! He ripped off runs of 53 yards, 43 yards, and kept pounding the Dolphins' defense for 6 and 7-yard gains like clockwork. No Chuba Hubbard? No problem. Rico said, give me that rock! And credit where credit is due. The Panthers, Dave Cannells, didn't panic when the team fell behind 17-0. Most coaches in that situation start forcing the ball in the air. Cannells said, no, we're sticking with the run. That's decision. And Rico's domination completely changed the game. Now let's talk about Bryce Young, Mr. 5'6" man himself, because his game was full of Bryce Young experience. Terrible start. 2 turnovers in the first 2 possessions. Looked like another long day for the second-year quarterback. But to his credit, the kid settled in. After the Dolphins retook the lead in the fourth quarter, Young led the calm, efficient, game-winning drive, capped off with a touchdown pass to Mitchell Evans at the goal line. He finished strong. He stayed poised, and he proved something that Carolina Panthers fans needs to see. That when he can take a punch, reset, and respond. He's still got to start faster, but with this growth, this is a step. This is a huge step for the Carolina Panthers. Now, let's not overlook what the Carolina Panthers did defense in this one either, because it was quite dominant. This defense could have folded early with those turnovers. Instead, they fought back. They made life miserable for Tua, who hasn't. Carolina's defense front seven was attack mode all game long, with 9 tackles for losses, 3 sacks, and completely erased Miami Dolphins' run game. The Dolphins ran the ball for 14 times for 19 yards. 14 times for 19 yards. That's 1.4 yards per carry. Next Gen stats even said Carolina held the Miami Dolphins at negative 46 yards over expected. The lowest mark by any team since last season. That's dominance in the trenches. They didn't need takeaways. They kept forcing 3 and outs and giving their offense second chances. Meanwhile, let's call it like it is. Miami Dolphins simply collapsed. Tua came out hitting Darren Waller, Jalen Waddle early for quick scores. They went up 17-0 and then completely flatlined. From that point forward, the Dolphins had 2 first downs of their next 5 possessions. That's it. No Tyreek Hill, no run game, no rhythm. Jalen Waddle tried to carry the offense with 110 yards and a 46-yard touchdown, but that wasn't just enough. Mike McDaniel's seat might not even be on fire yet, but it's getting very, very warm. You can't keep losing games and survive in Miami this long. The biggest takeaway, the Panthers are finding their identity. They're not flashy, they're not perfect, but they're tough. They fight, they punch back. Dave Cannells has this team believing again. The team just went toe-to-toe with arguably one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. Granted, no Tyreek Hill. They didn't have their running back one, whatever, right? But they won because they're more physical and they're more disciplined. If they can clean up turnovers and keep leaning on that running game, Carolina's going to make some noise in the NFC South. Rico became the first Panthers running back with over 200 yards since D'Angelo Williams back in 2012. Let that sink in. 15 years, the Panthers have not had back-to-back 200-yard rushers since D'Angelo Williams. This is more than a comeback. This was a statement. Guys, did Sunday's comeback prove the Panthers are legit contenders in the NFC South? Or this is just a one-week miracle? Comment down below, because it's a live, interactive show. I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions on the Panthers' huge win on Sunday over the Miami Dolphins. Guys, subscribe, hit the like button, and remember, we are live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. My man, Old Man Rivers in the chat.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He says, what's up? What's up, Old Man River? Guys, be like Old Man River, become a pigskin pundit. But Will Olsen, I guess I missed that comment. My bad, Will. Let me get back there. He says the Texans have had a tough schedule thus far. They lost to the Rams 14-9, lost to the Bucs 20-19, and the Jaguars 17-10. They will still make the playoffs and potentially win the AFC South. That's tough. I'm trying to think of some type of logic. Jaguars fall off, Colts fall off, expecting, right? Expecting to fall off. Excuse me. But I don't know. Whomever says the Panthers are still a 500 club. They are. They are a 500 club, old member. You are exactly correct. However, they shut out the Atlanta Falcons a couple weeks ago. They lost to a pretty good Patriots team. Yes, they kind of got blown out by the Patriots. What was it? 40-10 or whatever it was, 42-13. I can't remember. They did get blown out. This is a pretty good Patriots team, and they come out and they do this against the Miami Dolphins. We need to start to notice a little bit. We need to start to notice, and then they do play the Dallas Cowboys this weekend, Old Man River. And if they can beat the Dallas Cowboys, winning 3 of their last 4 over the Falcons, Dolphins, and Cowboys, their schedule looks very favorable coming forward. Jets, Saints, Falcons, Saints again, Seahawks, Bucks twice. They've had the Bucks number as of late. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, guys. But it is time for Overreaction Tuesday on a Wednesday.
It's Tuesday morning, the coffee's hot. Hot takes flying like a last-minute shot. They say he's washed, they say he's gold. Every week's a legend or a story untold. He's the GOAT, no, he's a fraud. A single play, they applaud or applaud. Overreaction Tuesday. Big swings, small plays. One snap changes fate. Overreaction Tuesday. The crowd or the gate, no middle, just debate. All
right, guys, so it is time for Overreaction Tuesday here on a Wednesday. If those of you that have not seen the segment before, let me break that down for you. Here's the deal. I'm going to throw out a hot take, a bold statement, and a tense reaction to something going wrong around the NFL world. And then we're going to decide if it's an overreaction or if it's actually spot on. If we think it's an overreaction, guys, we're calling it out. We're going to say, whoa, slow it down, baby. It's a little bit too much. Let's talk about dialing it back. Let's see things a little bit more perspective. But if we think it's actually legit, we're going to agree. We're going to roll with it. We say, you know what? That's not an overreaction, Buck. That's reality, and here is why. So, guys, I'm going to throw out some of the biggest takes, and we're going to jump the gun. If the hype is real, let's figure it out. Overreaction Tuesday, guys, here on a Wednesday.
Just debate.
All right, guys, so it is time for Overreaction Tuesday here on a Wednesday, and I got and this one thing's been flying around social media since Sunday night. This is the one thing that's been kind of hot on our Facebook page for the last few weeks. Guys, is it an overreaction to say that the Indianapolis Colts are Super Bowl contenders? Hold up. Pump the brakes. Slow it way down. Go from 65 to 30. Look, I love what the Colts are doing. They are 4-1. They're playing clean football. They're fun to watch. But Super Bowl contenders? Not yet, baby. Let's be honest. And let's be honest about what we've actually seen. Yes, the Colts have been red hot. They has just steamrolled the Las Vegas Raiders 47-10. 6 touchdown drives, no turnovers, and only 1 punt all day long. Daniel Jones was efficient again. Jonathan Taylor looked like vintage JT again. And that defense completely shut down the Raiders in the red zone. Matter of fact, they were 0 for 4 inside the 20, including 0-2 in goal-to-go situations. And I get it. This team looks the part right now. Balanced offense, disciplined football, a quarterback playing smart, mistake-free football. Even the numbers back it up. The Colts have already won 3 games by 20-plus points so far this season, after having none in the last 3 years combined. That's real improvement. So yeah, they're good. They're playing great, but let's not crown them quite yet. Guys, here's where I got to be real with you. Look who have they beaten. Look who they beat. They beat the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, after week 1, we said this is the worst team in the entire NFL. They beat the Denver Broncos. And yeah, that win looks a little bit better now that the Denver Broncos knocked off the Philadelphia Eagles, but let's just be honest. That game was much about Denver's lack of discipline than it was about Indy's dominance. And then the Tennessee Titans, they're a complete mess right now. They can't find an offensive identity. They can't find a defense identity. The only reason why the Titans have won so far this season is because the Arizona Cardinals are terrible. And then the Las Vegas Raiders, who just got embarrassed and literally taken over about benching Geno Smith. Matter of fact, we said this Monday. Fire Pete Carroll, cut Geno Smith, start Kenny Pickett. They're not playoff caliber teams right now. Not one of them. Not the Broncos, not the Titans, not the Raiders, not even the Miami Dolphins. Yes, you can say they battled the LA Rams, whatever. They should have won it, whatever. But the point of the matter is they didn't. The Rams have flaws. They might be the biggest flawed team in the entire NFL. You cannot be Super Bowl contenders until you beat Super Bowl caliber opponents. And Chris Collinsworth said this about 17 times on Sunday Night Football. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Chris, we get it. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Chris, shut up. We get it. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And guess what? So far, the Colts haven't done it yet. Now, don't get it twisted. This team deserves credit. They're well coached underneath Shane Steichen. They play clean football, and they don't beat themselves. Daniel Jones, yes, Daniel Jones has been epic, poised, and productive. Just 2 interceptions through the first 5 games. He's completing tight window throws, like 4-yard touchdown pass to Michael Pittman Jr., and only had a 22% completion probability per next-gen stats. That's elite execution. Jonathan Taylor looks rejuvenated. The offensive line finally healthy and dominating up front. And the defense, they're not flashy, but they're making you earn each and every yard. This team is doing everything right fundamentally. But here's the thing. The real test hasn't even started yet. Look ahead at their schedule. It's smooth sailing for the next few weeks. The Colts don't face a legit heavyweight contender until early November when they head to Pittsburgh Steelers to take on the Steelers. That is going to be a limited test. That's where we find out if the Indianapolis Colts are for real or they're just beating up bottom half of the NFL teams. Because you can rack up wins in October, you can rack up wins in September, but if you cannot beat the contenders in November and December, you just a field goal story that flames out before January. So guys, is it an overreaction to call the Colts a Super Bowl contenders? Yes. Now, not by much. They're good. They're improving. They're disciplined, but they haven't proved that they can go toe-to-toe with the elite. If Daniel Jones keeps it up, if Jonathan Taylor keeps running wild, and this defense keeps bending, not breaking, then we can revisit this conversation. But right now, Colts fans, enjoy the ride, but don't book your Super Bowl tickets just yet. Because if you ask me, they're highly overrated, and they make the playoffs, they're going to be one and done, just like the Detroit Lions last season. But let me ask you this, Man Hour Nation. Are the Colts true Super Bowl contenders, or are they just taking advantage of a soft, early schedule? Drop your thoughts. Drop your comments down below. This is a live interactive show. I want to hear from you and your take on the Colts' hot start. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Remember, you guys, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at YouTube.com. Will Olsen says, overreaction. The Colts and Daniel Jones will start to slip up later this season. And Will, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Now, it won't be this week because they played the Arizona Cardinals. Arguably the worst team in the NFL. Yes, those Arizona Cardinals. And I said, that they could make some noise. That was before they just totally started sucking. The LA Chargers, they traveled to LA, yes, to play the Chargers, but the Chargers are fool's gold as well. Injuries have piled up against them. Yes, losing this or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're fool's gold. And then they play the Titans. Titans are a complete trash. They beat a terrible team in the Arizona Cardinals that literally gave them the game away, and the team says, I don't know if I really want this or not. Are you sure we can have this? Because we're kind of trying to get that first overall pick. Like, are you sure? November 2nd, when they play the Pittsburgh Steelers, is when they'll finally get a real true test. And then they play the Falcons, Chiefs, Texans, Jaguars, Seahawks, the 49ers, and Jaguars, and Texans to end the season. This could be a great story. They could be 8-2 going into the Kansas City Chiefs game, and then they could not win a game for the rest of the season. Fool's gold. Fool's gold. Jordan Williams and the Titans are figuring things out. They are. They are figuring out how to blow the first overall pick yet again. They're figuring out how, like, hey, we're just good enough to beat the Arizona Cardinals, but we still need that number one overall because we have so many freaking holes in our team. But hey, you know what? We still have Calvin Ridley. We still have Tony Pollard. It's going to be traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. But hey, whatever. Slow it down. Old Man Rivers or the Kansas City Chiefs will make the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to make the playoffs, Old Man River. Where have you been? The Kansas City Chiefs are down right now, but they're not out. He said Arch Manning will be in Vegas. That's stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Well, speaking of dumbest things I've heard in my life, the New Orleans Saints. Guys, welcome back to Overreaction Tuesday here on a Wednesday, and this one might sound a little bit bold. This one's going to go out on a ledge a lot. Guys, is it an overreaction to say that New Orleans Saints will win 3 games in a row? That's right. Those New Orleans Saints that were arguably the worst team in the NFL, and then they showed up last week, and here they are. Guys, I am here to tell you right now, this is a not overreaction. The New Orleans Saints could, yes, win 3 games in a row. Let's be real. The Saints finally put a complete football game together on Sunday versus the New York Football Giants. Offense, defense, special teams, always clicking. And when you look ahead at the schedule, Patriots at home, Bears on the road, this team could very easily stack 3 wins and start to feeling dangerous. Let's start what we saw in week 5. The Saints beat the Giants. It just wasn't a win. It was a statement. It was a total team effort. 5 forced turnovers, 7 of 15 on third down. They didn't allow a single sack, even though Rattler was pressured more than half of his dropbacks, 54.8% to be exact. That's toughness. That's composure. That's Rattler as a top 10 quarterback, baby. Rattler played smart football, using his legs when needed, and even hit that beautiful bomb to Raheem Shaheed, who hit 21.7 miles per hour on an 87-yard touchdown, the fastest speed on touchdown all season long. He had Kool-Aid McCunster, however you say his name. He had a breakout game. 2 interceptions, shutting down the Giants' drives that could have swung the momentum. And you got to give credit where credit is due. Kellen Moore got his first win as the NFL head coach. And Spencer Rattler got his first win as a starter. The energy in New Orleans is changing. The team finally looks like it knows who it is. Now let's talk about the next 2 weeks, because this isn't a stretch. This is a very, very real possibility. The Saints play the New England Patriots at home next, inside the Caesars Sports Dome, one of the hardest places to play in football. New England is coming off a huge emotional win in Buffalo, and teams in that spot almost always come out flat the next week. They might be quite overlooking the Saints because you know what? The Saints aren't very good. That's mistake number 1. Because the Saints defense is starting to find its rhythm. They made Jackson Dart look like a true rookie, forcing 5 turnovers. That's just not luck. That's execution. And if they can pressure the quarterback like that again next week, the Patriots offense, which has been up and down all season long, it's in for a very, very long day. And then after that, the Chicago Bears. Guys, let's not sugarcoat this. The Chicago Bears suck. In the Man-Hour Bible, chapter 5, verse 12, paragraph 4, it simply says, "Thou shalt not trust the Chicago Bears ever at this point." I know it says December. Don't trust them till December. But you know what? Don't ever trust the Chicago Bears, period, because they suck. Even the Saints aren't perfect, but they're good enough to go into Soldier Field and handle business against a terrible Chicago Bears team. You win that Patriots game at home, you build confidence, and then you go to Chicago, ride the wave, and suddenly this team's on a 3-game winning streak and feeling like it's belong in the NFC South race yet again. And here's what people are missing. This team is starting to believe again. The Giants' win wasn't just another Sunday. It was their first complete game of the season. Spitler Rattlers showed leadership, the defense dominated, and the offense opened it up vertically. You can see the swagger starting to return. If they beat the Patriots, that's 2 straight. Then you get the we can beat anybody mentality. Then you roll into Chicago with confidence against a bad team, and boom, you got a 3-game winning streak, baby. That's how momentum starts in the NFL. Now, sure, it's not all perfect. Groupie missed 2 field goals. It's still a concern. The team can't afford to leave points on the board, especially in the close games. But when you're forcing turnovers like the defense is, when you're winning field possession battle like the team is, those mistakes don't sting as much. The key is consistency. Spitler Rattlers got to keep protecting the football. The defense got to keep hunting, and kicking the game has to stabilize. But the blueprint is there. This team's got heart. They're playing fast, and they're starting to look like a group that actually enjoys playing football together. So, guys, is it an overreaction to say that the Saints will win 3 straight games? Absolutely not. They got the right schedule. They got the right momentum. And for the first time all season, they got the right attitude. The Saints are quietly becoming the don't overlook us team in the NFC. So let me ask you this, Man Hour Nation. Are you buying the Saints resurgence? Or do you think it's just a short-lived hot streak? Drop your thoughts down below. It's a live interaction show. I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Saints' next 2 matchups? Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Now let's get into the comments and discuss your team. Wes says simple as this: we back, baby! And then he says, laugh my ass off. Wes, you cannot hype up your team and then LOL it. You cannot say we back. You can't be patting that chest and say, oh, my bad, LOL. LOL. And then Old Member says, put the dog down, baby. The Bears are a 500 team. So let me ask you this, Old Man River, Mr. Pigskin Pundit himself. Guys, we like Old Man River.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Since when is a 500 team not a bad team? If you're right 50% of the time, that's not success. That's failure. What is success in the grade book? 60% or higher. 61%, 62%, 77%, not 50%. 50% you are failing at life. 50% was you are failing at this, you're failing at this, but hey, I got this right, but you got this right. 500 team is not a good team. They're not an elite team. They're not, the Bears suck, Old Man River, and you know this. Verts, baby, throw it to the field. Let Spencer Rattler open up the field. The only thing you guys are missing right now is Michael Thomas. Get rid of Michael Thomas. No, he's too busy beating up teammates and faking a hamstring injury and being like Lamar Jackson like at this point. Will Olsen says the Saints will lose to the Patriots and the Bears. Simply put, this is an overreaction. Stop spreading misinformation, Buck, says Will. I say, Will, you need to slow it down, baby. You need to slow it down because the Saints are coming. They coming, baby. They coming, they coming, they coming. And Wes was saying, LML to the Titans are back. Stay tuned to Factor Crack because we're going to talk about the Tennessee Titans. We are going to talk about the Tennessee Titans and the Factor Crap, so stay tuned to that. And turf toe. That's what Michael Thomas has is turf toe. I didn't know that. I thought he was too busy beating up teammates and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Just, I don't know. Too much drama. Old Member says exactly, and look what Aaron Glenn's first year's Blues as well. And then Brandon says, rumor alert, Trevor Lawrence being the Kansas City Chiefs were just AI. It was all fake. That's tough. That is tough. That is tough. That is tough. But guys, it is Overreaction Tuesday here on a Wednesday. Guys, and this is a spicy one. Because anytime we talk about the Dallas Cowboys, people want to just up in arms this way or this way. But I'm going to tell you this right now, guys. Is it an overreaction to say that the Dallas Cowboys can just outscore everyone and be successful this season? Guys, let's just be 100% honest. The Cowboys team this season is built different. They're explosive, they're creative, and Brian Schottenheimer has a first-year offense playing chess while everybody else is out there playing checkers. The Cowboys' offense is the real deal. But let's start what we saw on Sunday. The offense just keeps rolling. Dak Prescott threw for over 300 yards, top 5 quarterback in the NFL, I might add. That's absolutely a dime to a 43-yard touchdown pass to George Pickens over Sauce Gardner. That's just not execution. That is confidence. That is dominance. That is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And then the balance? Oh my goodness, baby. Javonte Williams was a monster. 16 carries, 135 yards, and a touchdown, averaging over 8 yards per carry. He ripped off a 66 yard to set up a score, then finished the half with another touchdown from 5 yards out. He was forcing missed tackles left and right, 7 total, I might add, and racking up yards after contact like it was Madden on rookie mode. Their offense is humming. That's right. The offense is humming. Over 400 total yards, scoring in bunches, and they did it all while losing the time of possession battle. That tells you exactly explosive how they are. This is where I've got to give some serious love to Brian Schottenheimer. He's proving this isn't just a one-month wonder. The play calling creativity is next level. He keeps defense off balances and pre-snap motion, design rollouts, and timely deep shots. And most importantly, he's empowering Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is just not a game manager. He's dictating him. The confidence, the pocket movement, the decisiveness, it's the best version of Dak Prescott we have ever seen. This is why I've been saying Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL year after year after year, because he is. Schottenheimer's offense feels like he finally understands his identity. Attack, pressure, attack, and never let up. Now, here's the big question. Can the Dallas Cowboys really just rely on their offense to win this game this year? Normally, I'd say that's dangerous thinking. You can't depend solely on shootouts. But for this team, with this system, guys, it is absolutely possible. The Cowboys are deep at every offensive skill position. Dak is locked in. Williams is running angry. Pickens, Ferguson are giving defenses nightmares. And oh, by the way, CeeDee Lamb is still silent, and he's still yet to come back. And when they are rolling, it is over. We have known all offseason this defense was going to give up. It was going to be what it used to be. Not without Micah Parsons, because this defense just isn't very good. Okay, that's okay, because the offense has picked up the slack. But when your defense gives you a couple stops and your offense can drop 30-plus almost every week, that's a formula that's working in today's NFL. And let's not act like the defense was bad on Sunday. They actually showed up. James Houston stepped up for a big 1.5 sacks, leading the Dallas Cowboys front to pressure Justin Fields on half of his dropbacks. 5 different players got in on the sack party as well. The pass rush was relentless. And when you have a lead and your other team is playing from behind, passing the ball, pin those ears back and go get the ball. Now, let's be real. This isn't going to be the new norm for the Dallas Cowboys defense. They're not that shutdown unit from a couple years ago. They got guys like Houston and Devontae Flower to keeping this team respectable on that side of the ball, and that's all Dallas needs. A good enough defense to give Dak and Brian Schottenheimer a chance to hang points. So, guys, is it an overreaction to say the Dallas Cowboys can just outscore opponents all season long and win the NFC East? Not at all. This offense is dynamic, is balanced, and is built for speed and creativity. What did the Detroit Lions do last season? Their defense was highly overrated. They were so great because they were playing with the lead most of the year. Guys, and let's not forget, this is the same franchise that's built some of the best offensive line and running games the league has ever seen in decades. The formula just shifted. It's less grind you down, more run right past you. This is the top 5 offense right now, and it's just getting started. So, Man Hour Nation, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Is it an overreaction to say the Dallas Cowboys can win games by simply outscoring everybody this year? Or do you think their defense will eventually hold them back when it matters most? Because I'm telling you this, if they keep putting numbers up like this, nobody's going to get in a shootout with them, and nobody's going to stop them. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. This is a live interactive show. I want to hear from you. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time until the high school football season is officially over. A couple weeks. Da-da-da-da. Brandon says the Jags' last touchdown looked like a birth of a baby giraffe. Not wrong, Brandon. Not wrong at all. Old Man River says, but what are the Dallas Cowboys' record? You see it right here. They're 2-2-1. Look, right up there. Top of the screen. See it? They're 2-2-1. The Dallas Cowboys are 2-2-1. Old Man River, didn't you say a 500 team is a good team? So it's only convenient to say a 500 team is a good team when it's not a team that you like or root for. Like what is that? But when you look at the Dallas Cowboys' schedule so far this season, they open up against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are a pretty good team. Lost by 4 points. They beat the Giants in a shootout. Yes, they did get embarrassed by the Chicago Bears. Yes, it is what it is. It was the Chicago Bears' first home game. Caleb Williams played out of his mind. Ben Johnson coached one hell of a game. Tied to the Green Bay Packers. You beat down the Jets. I mean, let's not front that the Dallas Cowboys are playing some juggernaut schedule either, right? They play the Panthers next. They play the Broncos, Cardinals, Raiders, and then they got the Vikings and the Chargers and the Giants. Like, you win the game that you're supposed to win, that's a 9-10 win team. That's a playoff team. You get into the playoffs, ooh, baby, look out. So don't tell me what is their record. Their record is 500. Their record is come into Dallas and I'm going to whoop that ass, baby. Their record is on Monday Night Football, November 17th at ESPN at 8:15. They're going to go into Las Vegas and they're going to whoop that ass, put 60 up on those mofos. That's what's going to happen. That's what the record is, Old Man River. And Will says Dak is an MVP candidate. Definitely should be. Because let's just be honest, the MVP thing is the quarterback on the best team. Like, that's just what it is. If the Cowboys keep rolling, if somehow they muster out 13 wins, Dak Prescott will 100% win the MVP. Now, if they're a 10, 11 win team, he's not going to win the MVP because it's going to be Josh Allen. It is going to be Aaron Rodgers, whoever has the best record at the end of the season, whoever that quarterback is. That's just the way it is as of late. It's silly, it's dumb, but yes, Dak should be the MVP. 100%. Wes says the Cowboys look legit during the regular season. They just can't get over the playoff hump like the Steelers. The difference between the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers is the Cowboys expect to be great, right? Regular season is not so much, but yes, they have run into a buzzsaw come the playoffs. The Steelers, once they get to the playoffs, like, oh, we made it. We're good. Mike Tomlin was like, oh, we good, baby. No need to worry here now, right? That's the difference. And Old Man River says, you're back in love with the Cowboys again? I'm not back in love with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm just speaking the real facts, Old Man River. You have to call a spade at the end of the day. When they're playing good football and you see it and you recognize it, you got to give credit where credit is due. Raiders suck. Bears suck. Vikings suck. Bengals suck. Dallas Cowboys is them. It's them. Old Man River says Dallas falls short of the playoffs. No, they won't. I'm going to go out on a limb here a little bit. Test the strength of the limb. It's a good 6-inch limb. Doesn't seem dry rotted. I don't hear no crack. The Dallas Cowboys are winning the NFC East. The Dallas Cowboys are winning the NFC East. Jared Goff winning MVP. Get out of here. Get out of here. Old Member says, you don't sound like a sworn woman anymore. Just because I got my voice back, you don't need to be... Time for Factor Crap.
When there's something strange in the NFL scene, rumors fly wild. What does it mean? You scroll through the feed, it's a clickbait trap. Who you gonna call? Fact or
sources, but you ain't care. From the draft room buzz to the locker chat, Buck breaks it down, fact or crap. Huddle up, huddle tight. Is it wrong, is it right? Buck's got his tweets, he's bringing the fight. Fact or crap? Buck's on the seats. Fact or crap? Truth or need? Breaking news. They shout, but it's shady. Anonymous tip sounds real lazy. Buck's got the playbook, no need to guess. Sniffing out lies like a polygraph test.
All right, guys, so it is time for Factor Grab, and today's question has the AFC and the NFL in general in buzzing. So, guys, Factor Crap, with the Broncos' huge upset win over the Philadelphia Eagles and their surge into top 10 in the NFL power rankings, are the Denver Broncos a legit threat come the AFC come playoff time? Guys, and I'm going to head out and say this right now. Guys, that is a fact. This isn't the same old Broncos team that we knew last season or years before that. This team is growing up fast and finding their identity and proving that they can win tough games. Let's start with the obvious. This is a signature win for the Denver Broncos. They went into Philadelphia down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter against a team that hadn't lost a home game in 12 straight games, and they ended that streak. That's just not luck. That's grit. That's belief, and that is belief in your system. Bo Nix was shaky early, yes, averaging just 4 yards per attempt through 3 quarters. But then when it mattered most, he turned into a different dude. 9 of 10 passing, 127 yards and a touchdown in the fourth quarter. 3 straight scoring drives, 12 minutes of clock eaten up. That's clutch football. That's leadership. That is Sean Payton football. Now, and for Sean Payton, this wasn't just another win. It was a program win, one of the biggest since he has taken over the franchise. And then let's talk about that defense, because it was relentless when it mattered most. The Broncos sacked Jalen Hurts 6 times, batted down 9 passes, and completely shut down Philadelphia's offense in the second half. The Eagles scored on a 47-yard Saquon Barkley play early in the third quarter, and then nothing. 4 straight punts, only 1 first down after that. That's what great defenses do. They bend early, and they will not break your will late. The Denver's front 7, they're quietly becoming a force. They have 15 sacks coming into this game, and they added 6 more on Sunday. That's 21 sacks through the first 5 games of the NFL season, one of the highest totals in the NFL right now. That's a playoff caliber pass rush. Now look, let's not act like it's all sunshine and celebrations. The Broncos still have their problems. They're still one of the most undisciplined teams in football right now. 12 penalties for 121 yards in that game. That's brutal. And the slow starts, still a concern. They were down 14 points heading into the fourth quarter because they kept shooting themselves in the foot with penalties, poor field position, and sloppy offense. If you want to be true AFC contenders, that's got to be cleaned up. You can't spot teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, the Jaguars, a 2-touchdown lead and expect to come back every time. But here's the thing. They're finding ways to win despite of all that. That's what separates playoff teams from pretenders. And here's why I say it is the fact that the Denver Broncos are a threat. They have a coach who's been there and done that. Sean Payton knows how to win big games. They have a second-year quarterback in Bo Nix who doesn't panic and makes mistakes when it counts. They have a defense that can hit you in waves, and most importantly, they have momentum. That's the kind of win that completely flip a season. When you go into Philly, knock off one of the NFC's best, that's a type of victory that builds belief in the locker room. You can feel it. This team is starting to belong. It belongs in the upper tier. And when the rest of the AFC looks around, they're going to realize Denver isn't back on track. They're dangerous. So, Man Hour Nation, I'm calling this fact. The Broncos are absolutely a threat in the AFC come playoff time. They're not perfect. They've got the formula, a balanced offense, a growing young quarterback, and a defense that can get after anyone. If they can fix the penalties and stop the slow starts, this team can make serious noise in December into January. But I want to hear from you guys. Are the Broncos real, or did they just catch lightning in a bottle against Philly? Drop your thoughts below. This is a live interactive show. I want to hear from you, your thoughts. What do you think about the Denver's rise to the AFC? Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now let's get into the comments and discuss your thoughts. Old Man River says, yes, they played well. Peyton is a good coach, and it has them clicking. Old Man River says, fact, fact, fact. Old Man River, let me ask you this question. Are you willing to go out on the limb and say that the Denver Broncos are now the favorites to win the AFC West? With the injuries that are happening in Vegas, your Raiders not playing great football right now, and the Kansas City Chiefs most likely going to be a wild card team. Do you think that the Broncos can overtake the Chiefs and the Chargers in the AFC West? Are you willing to put that down? Will Olsen says, fact, they are good, but I don't think that they could get past the Chiefs or the Bills in the playoffs. Will, as I do agree with you there, right? You have to get there. So the old saying goes is you have to know how. So you have to learn how to lose before you know how to win, right? Is that how it says that, right? Like you have to lose before you know how to win, right? Just like the Kansas City Chiefs had to have Dee Ford line up offsides versus New England Patriots and Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. They had to lose that game so they could go on their winning streak, right? Are you worried for years upcoming? 2027, 2028, yada, yada, yada. Now, I'm not saying that the Broncos are a Super Bowl caliber team. I'm not saying they're going to go to the AFC Championship game. But I'm saying if they are a wild card team, they're certainly going to win a wild card game. They're going to go into the divisional weekend. That is what I mean as a threat, right? Because once you get to the divisional weekend, you're down to 4 teams. It's any given Sunday. Anybody can win at that particular point. They are truly a threat. Benjamin Tucker's in the chat. What's up, Benjamin? He says, young team that needs to be molded. And Sean Payton do that for them. And they a dominant defense. I agree. However, last season, I want to retract of some things that I said. I said the Denver Broncos making the playoffs last season is actually going to hurt them this season because of the draft capital, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, whatever. You guys can go back and like watch those clips. I'm thinking now the Broncos making the playoffs, Bo Nix's rookie year, kind of gave them that little bit of swag like, hey, we're supposed to be here. We're expected to be here. Right? So I may have spoke a little out of turn saying the Broncos shouldn't have made the playoffs last season. Old Member says that's why we watched the game. Peyton has a system and a defense needs more takeaways, but they still lose to the Raiders. Raiders Nation for life. Ugh, that is tough. Benjamin says they are a threat because teams undermine them. Teams do overlook the Denver Broncos, and that's why I think they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Because the Philadelphia Eagles were up 14-0. They're up 14 points going into the fourth quarter with 10 minutes left in the game, whatever it was, right? And they're like, oh, this team's whatever. They are going to fold. They simply overlooked them. The Eagles threw the ball for 48 times, rushed the ball for 11. Saquon Barkley rushed the ball 6 times for 11 yards versus the Denver Broncos. Most teams are not going to want to go into the teeth of the Denver Broncos defense, which is their secondary. Right? Patrick Surtain is arguably the best secondary player in the entire NFL. Most teams are not going to want to do that. But yes, Benjamin, you are correct. I think a lot of people are still overlooking the Denver Broncos, and that's why they will be a threat moving forward. But guys, now the next up here on the Factor Crap is another spicy one. Guys, Factor Crap. Are the Tennessee Titans still the worst team in football? I know. Slow it down. They did get a win. On Sunday, they finally got a win. A crazy comeback win over the Arizona Cardinals. But does one wild victory erase weeks, honestly months, years of flat-out terrible football? Let's break it down. The Tennessee Titans finally did it. They snapped a 10-game losing streak and got their first win of the 2025 season. And it was wild. Down big in the desert. They scored 19 unanswered points to beat the Arizona Cardinals. And the story of the game, Cam Ward. The number 1 overall pick looked rough for most of the afternoon. Tennessee had just had 72 passing yards on 8 straight drives out at one point. But when it mattered the most, the kid took over. He hit a 47-yard bomb to Calvin Ridley, and then another clutch 38-yard strike late in the game to set up a game-winning field goal. He completed big-time throws under pressure, and for the first time all season long, he looked like a quarterback that Titans fans were promised. The final quarter was magic. Cool, composed, and confident. And you got to give credit where credit is due. The Titans earned this win. They didn't luck into it. They fought for it. And we have got to talk about this defense because they were the real difference down the stretch. And getting lit up early, Jeffrey Simmons completely flipped the game. He was an absolute monster. 6 quarterback pressures, 1.5 sacks, and a tons of disruption that doesn't even show up on the box score. He forced penalties. He blew up plays. He basically lived in the Cardinals' backfield for the final 20 minutes of the game. And Cedric Gray, he was everywhere. 12 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and the heart of the late game defensive stand that gave Cam Ward a chance. So, yeah, the Arizona Cardinals collapse was epic. And we'll get into that. The Tennessee defense deserves credit too. They forced mistakes, they capitalized on them. And now, this is where we got to keep it real. Does one dramatic comeback win over the Arizona Cardinals, a team that just made the NFL history by losing a walk-off field goal 3 weeks in a row, suddenly makes the Titans a threat? No. Because for 3 quarters, this was the same old Tennessee Titans. Slow starts, no rhythm, penalties, and an offense that could not sustain drives. And even with this win, let's not pretend this team still doesn't have major issues. Their offensive line, trash. Their run game hasn't found its footing. And until the fourth quarter Sunday, Cam Ward looked like a rookie who's still trying to figure out the NFL speed and never will. So while this win is awesome, it doesn't erase the fact that Tennessee Titans still have the weakest resume in football. They're not dead last anymore, but yeah, they're still at the bottom. So here's some good news. This can be the turning point. Every struggling team needs that one game to flip the script. That moment when they realize that they can win in this league. This was it for the Titans. Their win probability dropped below 1.8% according to Next Gen Stats. That's second most improbable comeback of the entire season. They had the lowest average win probability of any win since 2016 at just 12.1%. That tells you how wild this comeback really was. And now you got a young quarterback with a little bit of confidence, a defense that's showing life, and a team that finally is starting to believe a little bit again. They're not the worst football in football anymore. They just need to prove that they could close a game. So, guys, fact or crap, are the Tennessee Titans still the worst team in football? I'm calling it crap. Now, they're still not good, but after this win, after this comeback, they climbed off the bottom rung. They're showing some growth, they're showing some fight, and most importantly, they show potential. If Cam Ward keeps trending upward, and if Jeffrey Simmons keeps wrecking games like he did on Sunday, this team finally start to look competitive again. They're not out of the woods yet, but they're no longer the easiest, worst team football in answer. So let me throw it to you, Man Hour Nation. Was Sunday's win enough to remove the Titans from the worst team in football conversation? Or do you still need to see more before you start believing? Because one comeback is great, but now they got to prove it wasn't a fluke. Guys, comment down below. This is a live interactive show. I want to hear from you. Will Olsen says, fact. And the Titans should have won that game. The Cardinals got hosed by the refs. Well, let's slow it down, baby. The Cardinals gave that game away by not crossing the end zone, by fumbling at the half-yard line, fumbling it out of the end zone, which would have put the game away. Well, it was 18-0 at that point. Bada bing, bada boom. All of a sudden, you're looking at 27-point lead, 27-0 going into the fourth quarter. The Cardinals gave that game away. Refs or not, it doesn't really matter. The Cardinals gave that game away. Benjamin Presley says they're not a threat, but it shows a spark. Let's not get it twisted. I'm not saying the Titans are a threat by any stretch of the imagination. They're not a threat to win the South. They're not a threat to get second place in the South. Hell, they're not even a threat to get the third place in the South. There is no threat in Tennessee Titans go hand in hand. No. But a couple weeks ago, we said they were the worst team in football. It was them, the Saints, and the Miami Dolphins, and potentially the Carolina Panthers. Now, it's simply just the New Orleans Saints. Let's just be honest. Old Member says, we will see who gets Arch Manning after the Titans Raiders this weekend. Old Member, what is the hype about Arch Manning? Have you not watched this kid play? I'm going to be honest. He's not very good. You got all this hype the last couple seasons. Oh, Cam Newton just grow. He's not very good. Arch Manning is not him. He's not good. He is never going to will be, and he never has been, or whatever it says, right? At the end, is just not very good. But guys, that's it for Man Hour tonight. See you tomorrow. Live, raw, uncut, we out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man Hour, NFL talk. I know that you ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour, NFL talk. Let's go.